All right, welcome back to my guide to Pro Tools. Today we're just going to look at making a new file and what that creates on your hard drives and how to save different versions and revisions of your session. So if we just take a quick look right here at this dialog, got the name. Let's name this test 1. We already talked about this. We can save it locally or we can save it on on Avid's cloud. I'm going to save it locally. We're not going to use a template today. And then down here, these 4 are really the important ones, okay? File type. Generally, I would say industry standard is going to be WAV. You have the option to use AIFF. I don't know anyone who does. IO settings, we'll get into that a little later. Right now, we'll keep it as last used. And then bit depth and sample rate are a whole other conversation that people are having right now. Basically, this is going to determine the quality of your recording. And so you might say, well, why not just put this all the way at max? And you could do that, but it's really going to eat up on your file size, and any storage that you have is going to get filled up really quickly. And kind of most importantly, a lot of people are not going to be able to tell the difference. So depending on the genre, you really just want to pick the most that you need. For a lot of people, that is 44:1:24. I would say that that is not the best choice for a lot of music because videos use 48 for their audio. So when you pull in a song into any video, whether that's a video for the song or a video that's going to feature the song, they're going to have to sample convert your song, and you don't have any control over the quality of that sample conversion. So my go-to is 48 because that means that likely if the song is going to be pulled into a video, they're not going to have to sample convert. Okay, this little button interleaved, we'll get into that at another point as well. So here, prompt for location or choose a location. I usually do prompt for location because I'm working with different artists, and so I tend to save things in different places every session. So if I were to hit prompt for location and create, it would say, okay, where do you want to save this? If you click the second one, it's generally going to save it in the same place, which you can determine. You can change that every time if you wanted to, but if you're making your own music and you have a location where you want all those folders to be stored, this is a great way to do that. So for today, I'm going to put it in this location and create. Okay, we've got our session, which as we know, we have here the edit and the mix window. And just for the sake of the folders, I'm going to create a new track. We're just going to set this as just anything. And I'm going to record just a little bit right here. So we've got some audio. There's nothing being recorded on this track, but you'll see in a second. Okay, now if we go over to our Finder, we can see that Pro Tools, in this folder where I told it to create the session, it's created a folder, not a file. It's created an entire folder called Test1. Inside this folder, we've got our Pro Tools file, and then we've also got several folders and a cache. Now, I really like this. If you were to do the same thing in Logic, it would create one file. It's showing you one file, and everything is inside of that file, right? This is really showing you that there's a bunch of different things. All the audio tracks that you record, or if we zoom in here, we can see this is called 1_01, which is this file. Anything that you record or import and copy into the session is going to be pulled into this folder, audio files. Any of your exports are going to be placed in the bounce, and so on and so forth. Your session backups, yada, yada, yada. So why is this good? This is good because here we have test 1, but let's say that we're going along, we're looking at this recording, and I want to try something, but I'm not sure that it's going to work. I can go up here to File. You can see under Save, we have 3 different options besides Save as Template, which is a different thing. We have Save, which is just going to overwrite test 1. If I hit that or Command S, it just overwrites what test 1 is. If I go to Save As, then I can rename this and it's going to save another file. We're all pretty familiar with that, right? I'm just going to V2. test1 underscore v2. If we come back to this folder and look, we have test1 and test1 v2. These are 66 kilobytes each, which is very small. These are both pulling from the same group of audio files and, bounced files. If you're importing your bounced files back into your session, those links are going to remain intact, which is really great because if you've got, your song recording, record drums, record vocals, mix 1, mix 2, mix 5, master 1, and you've got all these different versions, they're each, under a megabyte each, and they are just pulling from your list of audio files, which is going to keep your file size really small, or I should say your folder size for the whole project. It's going to keep it really small. Well, smaller than if you were duplicating every time you were saving as, you were duplicating all your audio files, you'd run out of disk space a lot faster. So what is the last option here? Save copy in. Save copy in can be convenient if you, let's say that you are recording stuff for another producer and you've got all this stuff ready, and then you want to save a clean version without losing all the stuff you've done. Okay, you can go to save copy in. You're going to want to copy over audio files, obviously. These are all the settings we looked at the beginning. You probably want to keep them the same. Got a whole bunch of other settings here that you can look through if the time ever comes. But I'm just going to hit OK. I want to save it in the same place. And now if we go over here, you can see it's created a new folder called copy of test, copy, whatever, copy of test1, and it's copied over the Pro Tools file as well as anything else. In this case, we only had one audio file, so it's just copied over the one audio file. But if we were to have had bounce files and session backups and whatever we told it to copy over, it would all be in this file. And so then we could go into copy of test1, okay, and we could, clean this up, make sure that it's exactly what we want to send to the producer so he's not getting all the extra stuff, and then save that and send that over to them. And that is a really convenient way to not send him over all your mess. Okay? Hopefully that's been helpful. I'll see you next time.